And the KrakCast is back. I'm John. That's Josh. That's Dave. A couple of months ago, back at the end of May, I think it was, we did an episode called The Darker Side of Krakow's Nightlife. It was about a tourist from New Zealand, John Deverell, who visited Krakow some time ago. And during his stay, he found himself in one of Krakow's strip clubs and turned into a nightmare experience. And that episode, even now, months later, it's still our most listened to episode. Got a big response from listeners as well. We got a lot of messages and comments on email and Facebook from people interested about the subject and people who say they had a similar experience. So last weekend, Dave and I conducted a kind of experiment. Started in McDonald's on Grodzka Street, as most good experiments do.
Yeah, very complicated experiment.
Yeah, this all
a lot
makes
of thought
sense.
went into it.
Just bear with us till the end of the episode. This will all make sense. It's going to unfold bit by bit. You'll see where we're going with this. But so we finished having a bite at McDonald's, and we wanted to see what would happen. The two of us just walking down Grodzka Street to the Rennick on our way to a bar over on the west side of the square. And we wanted to see what kind of people might approach us, what kind of people might approach us with offers. Right, Dave?
Yes, I threw the iPhone in the pocket, I hit record, and we started walking. And about, what would you say, 10 seconds later, we were approached?
Something like that, literally 10 seconds later. Now, it's important to note that we did not make any special effort to run into anybody. We didn't,
We're not big into effort.
No, we're not. We just walked straight down the street, kind of talking to each other, and, well, listen to what happened to us.
We are now approaching the main square's entrance at the top of Grodzka.
Guys, you go to my strip club. We have a free entrance. And if you order something, have a shot of vodka.
Okay, what?
Or 49 zloty, have no limit alcohol in my club cabaret. If you want no limit alcohol, beer no limit, vodka, whiskey, gin, it's 49 zloty.
Which ones are the shit strip club?
Which are the dangerous ones?
The cabaret.
Yeah.
Like the girls have some bands, like
I think I
they're
saw it.
glowing.
Okay. What's wrong with that place?
A guy died there like in November, if I'm not mistaken.
You mean like dead died?
Yeah.
Why did he... What?
They drugged him.
They drugged him and he died.
Yeah.
That's bad for business, I think. Holy shit.
I know. That's why they changed their name, because early was Wild Night. You can Google it.
Okay.
Like. And also, I don't recommend you to go to VIP.
All right, is that
I
dangerous?
used to work there, and they're ripping off like as fuck. Like,
What do you mean
there
ripping
was like a few times when I came to work. I used to work there as a promoter as well, and there were like 2 or 3 times when a guy just stood in front of the entry and he was like yelling, "Don't go there because they stole like 10,000 euro from me." And I mean seriously, even 2 guys like 2 or more 3 times. I went for a drink, like guys like you, they just invited me for a drink, and the waitress were like, if you want her to stay, you need to pay 250 zlotys for a drink without alcohol, because she is not allowed to drink. And I was sitting like, oh my god, what I'm doing here? Like, so I don't recommend you to go
So
there.
what happens there when somebody refuses to pay the bill? They say, fuck that, I didn't order this, I'm not going to pay for it.
I don't know, like in VIP, I know that they had like an open bill, like they just note, like writing down whatever you are buying, and then you pay for all of it. And for example, in my club, you just take the menu, you choose, they bring you the whatever you like, the receipt or the like machine, and you pay instantly. So you pay only.
How do you spend 10,000 euros at a strip club?
I have no idea. Seriously, I'm not a customer there, so probably there is some way.
So you're telling me that some places are honest and some places are not?
Probably all of them, they're trying to make as much money as they can on you. But anyway, like in some clubs, they're just like they're going insane.
Yeah.
Gentlemen's club here tonight.
Where is it?
Do you want to go to Gentlemen's club tonight?
Gentleman's Club.
Yes.
Maybe. What do you offer?
So guys, 49 zloty will have no limit to alcohol. You can drink all night for 49 zloty, beer, whiskey or vodka.
Whoa.
All night you can drink for 49
49 is what? I drink all night.
Yes, 49 zloty is no limit.
What kind of vodka is it?
For example, you drink 1 shot and later 1 shot more, and why you will be drunk.
when you will be drunk, you stop. But Turkish club,
Jacuzzi.
two jacuzzi inside, seriously. Because girls inside naked, we have champagne with jacuzzi and fruits. So, very good. We have free show, gratis, lesbian show, bomba show, boa show, and...
So, go through those shows again. What were the shows?
Lesbian show, bomba show, boa show.
What was the second one?
Lesbian bomba show.
What was Bomba?
Girls dance naked without something.
Okay, and then what was next?
And boa show, it's girls dance. Boa show, girls dance near you.
Near me.
Yes.
And then was there something else after that?
Lesbian show, bomba show, boa show.
How much?
If you wanna go to private room, you pay, of course. But this show for free.
How much is the private room?
10 minutes lap dance is 150 zloty. So, my club here not far. You can go to check.
What's it called?
Sugar Club.
Sugar Club.
So you can go. You have stamps now, and we can return for free.
We haven't even got to Mikołajska and Florianska.
Yeah, but Sugar Club is a nice one here.
No, we were just talking to a Sugar Club representative.
Sugar Club seems to be like the place to go. Yeah. How many girls do you have there, by the way?
Tonight, probably like 16 or 15, something like that.
Ah, we gotta buy the drinks for the girls. Is that
If you want to.
if I want to, and if we don't want to?
You can just continue drinking whatever you're drinking.
49 zlotys.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to drink a lot, you can just buy one beer or one whiskey or whatever you want. No one will force you to buy, like to pay 49 zlotys for one glass of whiskey. That's nonsense.
Ladies, we have a good offer for you. You go for free at the club. At the bar, you're paying exactly 20 or 30. For 20, you have 2 beer and shot, and for 30, you have 2 drinks. Beer, for example, yes? And we have 17 naked ladies. They're doing show on the main stage. You can easily watch it, yeah? Can I show right now?
How much does it cost to get in? What is it again?
It's free entry, basically. You're paying for the drinks for yourself.
Which club is this?
Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Yeah, it's just...
So what's that? I thought that's what...
That's VIP, that's...
Okay. So
I'm not judging by the shit. I mean, to be honest, every single person who go in, immediately go out. And they just fuck. So I don't know. I've never been there, but something is wrong.
So Sapphire is where it's at.
Maybe we should talk to the girl from VIP. Maybe she will tell us the same thing about Sapphire.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. 49 zlotys, free entry, 49 zlotys. How do you get paid?
Oh, they said free entry. They were probably
Well, we
desperate.
talked to somebody. Oh, is it not free?
I mean, normally
Is it not free?
entry is 50 zlotys. With the promote,
How
you
much?
can get a discount.
50?
Yeah,
I'm with
50.
that.
They seen your short and they knew we didn't have much money. That was what it was.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
It's like 10 pounds?
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, I am paid. Like I'm paid.
I'm just being
per
nosy
hour.
because I'm curious.
And also, I'm getting the 100% from the entry. So if you are going with me for 50 zlotys, I will get 50 zlotys for you. That's all.
Well, it's a hard job, like reeling people in
It's
here all
exactly.
night.
So we were talking about, it's hard work talking to people like us all night and stuff.
I mean, with you it's okay because some people they're like,
I like talking.
oh, you're a hooker, like let's go. How much for a blowjob or something like that.
That was my next question.
Yeah, that's
no,
like
I'm joking.
That's like every second guy is like that, maybe even more.
Every second guy asks you how much is a blowjob.
Or if I'm going with them to apartment, hotel, hostel, whatever, like behind the corner. Once I heard like, hey, will you go with me for 100 behind the corner?
Oh, classy.
Yeah, seriously.
I hope he wasn't from Ireland or the USA.
Probably he wasn't English.
If you're my girlfriend, I would not be too excited about you doing this job, I have to
Yeah,
say.
you'd be safe out here now.
All right, so there you go. Dave, I stopped counting. I think I stopped at 15, the number of times we were approached on the street in about 20 minutes. Do
It
you
was
remember?
pretty much, non-stop. Like,
Hey guys, how's it going? Looking for a strip club? Looking for a good time tonight? Looking for the girls?
because we look kind of lonely, John.
Over and over and over again. It's just overwhelming. It's in your face. You literally can't walk 30 seconds down the street without somebody offering you a trip to a strip club.
I mean, back when I first got to Krakow, there were strip clubs. Everybody knew that they were on the edge of town. There was 2 or 3 of them. People arranged taxi drivers. They had, their guides from their stag weekends. They went out. It seemed to work a lot better than there being 14 strip clubs on the main square that just constantly harass anyone that comes near them to come to a strip club to get robbed.
Like I said, it used to be kind of discreet. You knew they were out there, but you had to jump on a taxi.
Wasn't there a law passed like banning strip clubs?
End of last year.
What a success that was.
Yeah, right. End of last year, this new rule comes into effect that strip clubs can't be strip clubs. Regulations about promoting what they do, regulations about nudity. And they gave, I think there was a grace period until the end of March, 3-month grace period before it was enforced. And here we are, 5 months after the end of that grace period. And it's very obvious that these rules or regulations, whatever form they've taken, have zero effect on the trade.
It's brazen beyond belief, let me tell you.
Well,
not a single restaurant solicited us.
No restaurants, no pub.
It was only the only people who approached us.
That's right.
The only people who entered our personal space to talk to us.
Maybe it's because the strip
we're
clubs
selling one single thing.
They have a better offer. 49 zlotys, all you can drink. What was it? Vodka, beer? Was it whiskey? Vodka, beer, and whiskey.
Yeah, it's a killer pitch, man. That's why it's a simple experiment. As you just heard, a lot of thought didn't go into it. We
didn't have to put a lot of thought into it. Just start recording and walk down the street. And this is they came to us. As I said earlier, we didn't have to.
And there were a lot more we didn't bore you with. Trust me.
Absolutely. If we could have stayed out an extra 30 minutes and probably talked to 15, 20 more people, but I
would say we ran away from as many as the average punter does. I'd say we received pretty much an average amount of pitches for two blokes who walked across the main square.
Well, we first got into the subject a few months ago when we talked to John Deverall from New Zealand. And as you know, Dave, Josh, as you guys know, we got a big response to that. And we have another conversation with an Alexander from the Ukraine who has a similar, but in many ways worse experience to describe for you. So here's the interview we conducted with Alexander and his experience about what happened to him at the VIP Club. Alexander, welcome to the KrakCast.
Hello. The story begins with the end of 2016, December 30. I was just walking on the street in the evening, and one of the girls invited me to have a fun time. That's why I didn't resist, and as I was welcomed, I came into and took few drinks in this establishment, and then I was offered the private dance, which I also decided to take because I was willing to take some fun. So then I think that actually I was drugged at the time when I was. When I took the private dance, the manager of the club, she gave me a few shots, and I saw the surprise in their eyes, and I didn't understand it at this time what really could give them an surprise. But then later, next day, I understood what it was all about. So
sorry, just to be clear, you're saying you think you were drugged at the strip club?
Exactly.
Because we've heard that off pretty much everyone who's been in that scenario. And you believe the surprise on her face was that you didn't immediately start falling around the place, that maybe you had some kind of resistance to this?
I remember everything that happened to me. I was really with clear mind. I was clean. I mean, at that time, I did not feel some frustration or some influence from the drug. And I believe this is exactly what make them surprised. They thought that I will be drugged soon, but it did not happen. And they were offering me drinks often, like instantly free, without any payment. So after the one I took, they already bring me the next one, and it just continued. So it was like small shots, maybe 50 grams shots, maybe less even. So really small shots. And the story started from the private dance itself. I asked for two girls, and we went to the private room, and the price was agreed about 700 zloty. Then I took
200.
No, 700 zloty.
Sorry, 700.
Yes, for 2 girls, and I don't remember. It was about 15 minutes of the dance. This is a kind of
One of the special offers, the long dance.
Standard option from their catalog, extended version. From time point of view.
Expensive, but you agreed to it, so you were like, yeah.
Yeah, so I accepted, and after the first one, they brought me the bill. They actually asked me if I would like to continue, and I agreed as well. So the price for the next one was about 1,700. Then I asked it, come on, why is it that expensive? And it differs from the first price I took. They explained that the number one is a number of transactions. They started actually lying to me.
Like number one, the one in 1,700 on the credit card terminal is supposed to be transaction number one. That's their story?
Yes, this is how they explained why the amount is that big. So that the first number of the sum was meant just the order number of the payment, something like that. And I accepted the bill. I didn't want to interrupt my time, and also I kind of believed. Also, it sounded strange. So what did I see? I saw just some number entered into the payment terminal. This is what I saw with my eyes, and what it could mean, I did not like. I wasn't willing to argue with what it could mean. Then I accepted with my PIN entrance, and when this dance finished, they also offered me to take the next one, which was already started with the number 2. So meaning that the price for the next one was 2,700, if I'm not mistaken. So actually the same explanation was given to me, and I accepted it as well. But afterwards, I already I said that, okay, I may continue the time, but please let me go to toilet because I would like to make my private stuff. And actually, it was my purpose was to check the account.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's why I interrupted, being polite, not willing to interrupt everything. Because actually, they said if I asked to go to toilet after the first time, but they didn't let me go. Just saying that if I stop it, then it is stopped. Then they would not.
No pausing. No pausing.
No pausing. Yeah, because it was already after.
That's clever. They've obviously heard that objection before.
So.
Yeah.
So you go to the toilet. You check your account on your phone, I guess. And what did you find?
Did the amounts correspond? 7 in and 2 7.
The room itself is under the ground, and there is no connection.
Yeah.
So the toilet is on the upstairs. So when you go to toilet, it is actually the level of the ground where you can start seeing connection. Okay. So if you go downstairs the level of toilet, then you have no connection. That's how it is. So I did not see any message to my phone, and I then in the toilet I realized that it was actual payments. Then I came back to these people asking, "Come on, what's going on? Why did you cheat me? Why? What the problem? Why? What was your reasoning? I could stay here for longer. I could spend this money. What's the point?" And I was interrupted in a kind of aggressive form. This girl, she's a manager of the club. She said immediately that either I'm going away or the security guy will kick me off.
So in other words, get out.
Yeah, she said me to get out. That's namely how it was.
So at this point, sorry, about how much money is gone at this point? About 4,000, 5,000?
It was about
4,400
total because I took the first payment was by card. I took the alcohol drink. It was not expensive. It was, I mean, attentively not expensive, but still, comparingly to what they cheated me, it was really not big. So in total, it was about 5,000. So 2.7 was the last one. 1.7 was the before the last one, and 7 before. So it was about 5. Yeah, it was about 5. And the point is that when I came into the club, I said I have no cash. I paid with a card. And when I went out of the club, some random guy without any taxi identifiers, he offered me a ride home. I couldn't even imagine what it will end up. I was offered a drive. I agreed, and the guy was driving me home, but weirdly, not usual road. He was his ride was not shortened at all. He actually went in wrong direction. I saw everything and I was asking, why do you do this? He said that, okay, you do not have cash, right? And actually, this is something that I said to him at once, that I do not have cash and we will have to find some ATM. And I know the way home, and I knew exactly that we could find many ATMs on the way home. But he took different road, explaining me that this is actually the reason why he changed the direction. So when we arrived to the ATM, I took my card, I inserted it into this equipment. Then the ATM offered me standard options, like 200, 400, 100, or 50 zloty. So I chosen 400. I choose 400, and then the screen started showing me its initial position, as if nothing happened, as if no card in, as if just the start screen of the terminal of the ATM. My card was absorbed. It was inside. And I started pressing any buttons or on the screen just to bring this machine into life. And actually nothing happened. Then I realized that my card is inside. I cannot withdraw my money. Nothing happens. And I opened my application, the online banking application, and just to check, was the transaction committed or not? And I was very surprised that at this very moment, someone is taking my money. I was just, what the hell? When I turned back to see where is the driver, he disappeared without any word. Just disappeared. This is. I understood at once that this is actually the continuation of the case.
Oh, I have no idea.
You've
where to
left
go.
us speechless.
I'm just we're just staring at each other. So you have every reason to believe, you suspect that they're somehow related. This is, as you say, an extension of the scam.
And look, it's well known around town, what we call the dodgy taxi drivers that don't drive for companies, are hand in glove with strip clubs. They always have been. But I mean, I've never heard anything about this scam. This sounds... So how much extra was taken from your bank?
Let me continue.
Sorry,
Please continue.
So I was surprised to see that someone is taking money. But thanks to my strongness, I don't know to what to think to, but actually I was clean in mind and I immediately blocked the card. But at this time already some money was gone.
So just to be clear, at this point, you don't think you were drunk? You were still reasonably...
No, I was
you could
already
function,
under...
basically.
I was under effect, but...
You had some of your wits about you
not
still.
that much under effect that I missed it.
Yeah.
You could function.
I realized everything at once. I blocked the card and I asked it from the girl in the call center, how did it happen? She said to me, "Oh, come on." She named me the address of the ATM where the money was taken. And I looked into the map and I realized just I am staying few streets away from the place where my money was, where someone is taking my money. This is how it was organized. So I believe it was made with a kind of transmitter because I did not close the entrance of the pin. At the moment when I inserted the card, I entered the pin with no hiding it with the hand. So they actually could see from the camera installed what is the PIN number, and that's how they took the money, I think, from the next ATM just a few streets away from the place I was. The strange story about it was also that then, of course, I came to the police. I explained everything that happened to me.
So immediately after this, you go straight to the police?
No. I took sleep.
So the next day.
I couldn't go in this condition I was to the police because at least I smell alcohol. It's minimum, and I knew that I was also under effect of something.
You were sensible there. They wouldn't have taken you seriously, and you were
Yeah, I remember that I was wobbling to get to the house, and my legs were heavier and heavier from every minute, and I realized that something is not good. Then the next day I woke up, this is Sylvester night, the last day of the year.
And New Year's Eve, right?
Yes. I woke up about the second half of the day. Then I went to the police office and announced about the criminal case. The police office itself was near to the center, near to Galeria Krakowska, which is actually not the serving police office. I mean, I have Meldunik. I'm living not in the region of servicing.
Okay.
So that's why they redirected the case to the next police office, and it all took about 2 weeks.
Jeez, sorry, I just want to interrupt for a second, Alex, because I've been in this situation before. I know exactly what you're talking about. You go to a police station in the city, and you tell them something happened. Their first question is, where did it happen? And they're only asking because they're looking for an opportunity to send you to another police station. That's what they want to do. They're dying to say, oh, that's not our area. Sorry, you have to go over there, and they're happy to get rid of you. And that's what. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that after whatever investigating they did do, that they just the police chose to simply close the case with no charges. Isn't that what they did?
It sounded like that. For me, it seemed like that. Yeah.
So nothing happened. Basically, they said, "Sorry, we can't help you. It's over."
So, from what I understand, they did not visit the place of the ATM. They did not inspect it. They also did not visit the VIP club. They didn't even try to prove my words. I mean, this is the first thing to do, to prove my words, right? I came to the office. I explained what happened, and I believe the next from the police officer is to check if I am lying or not. Yet, so they didn't do anything of this.
So, to your knowledge, what did they do? What did the police do?
Okay, they all they did. It lasted about 3 months, I think, 3 or 1.5 months. I don't remember exactly, but they asked for the video materials from the camera. From the city office. This is what they did, and the quality of the camera itself was not sufficient to understand what kind of car it was when it happened. So the focus of the video,
checking this so-called taxi that you
the focus of the video, it even did not allow them to conclude was it me or was not the focus of the video didn't allow even to see me. Okay, the camera installed was filming just cars passing by. That's it. But at this time it was really early, and the place itself is not cloudy place, and I don't believe that they have even middle-level traffic or low-level traffic. I believe that there could be cars passing by maybe 1 in 10 minutes. So the times that I announced, I said exactly when and where something happened. They also could see it from the banking bills. They could see where, at which point of time exactly the transaction happened.
Right.
So they did not even, I think they didn't even try to see if I'm lying.
And so the police sent all this to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor decided that there was not enough evidence to continue. So in the story, yeah,
exactly. And I even mentioned. So first I came to the office. We described everything, and then after 1.5 months, I came back. Not 1.5 months. Maybe the next week, I realized I have a witness. I realized that at the ATM where I inserted the money, and then when everything happened, I entered the local shop asking for help. I was asking, please help me, call the police or something.
Maybe it was on video or something, maybe. No.
Actually, the seller, the guy who is selling the stuff, we had a kind of conflict with us because I was asking for help, and he said me to get out, and this is
perfect end to your evening, huh?
Yes.
Alex, let me ask you something.
Or another layer to the.
Let me ask you something that we asked John Deverall, the tourist from New Zealand, when we were talking to him. A lot of people listen to your story and they'll be sympathetic about what happened, certainly angry about the people who did it. They want them to be punished. But at the same time, a lot of people would say, look, you went into the strip club. You can't really complain if something bad happens. In other words, the suggestion is it's a little bit your fault also because, you chose to put yourself in a place like that. What do you say to people like that?
I would laugh, It's such a way of thinking. I'm a person of agreements, It comes to everywhere and everything. If I agreed about something and we discussed the price, the service or whatsoever, so it should be according to agreements. That's it. Does not matter if I do criminal or if I do right stuff. Actually, I'm not criminal, but still, this is a question of cheating, of really robbing people and so on. This is not about the choice of living. Okay, everyone has some wishes, some desires, some preferred time spending. It is a kind of respect to other choices. If you are, I would say, even narrow-minded, and you do not understand how someone would like to go to street club, this is your own problem. If you do not understand the one who is near to you, then this is your own problem. That's how I would explain.
Actually, my real last question is this. given everything you've gone through, what would you say to somebody, maybe a local, maybe a tourist, who's in the main square late at night, maybe after a couple of drinks, and some pretty girl walks up to him with an offer of having a good time in a strip club? What's your advice?
Basically, my advice would be, first of all, it's better to avoid such places, not because of the service they provide, but because of the criminal aspect of their activity. But if you even decided to go there, do not use credit cards. Mm-hmm. Take the cash with you, go inside, and this is actually something you have in your pocket is maximum you can lose. Mm-hmm. So that's it.
All right, so that was our interview with Alex. We're about 30 minutes after the interview now. Alex is gone. We're just the three of us here in the studio, Josh, Dave, and myself. And we've needed some time to kind of digest what we heard. There was a moment there, Dave. There was a moment where when Alex first started talking about the taxi and the credit card scam, where we just looked at each other, we were thinking, what the hell have we stumbled onto here?
Well, it sounds plausible to me that taxi drivers, we all know that there's an underclass of taxi drivers without any specific company that they work for that are well known for ripping off people. And it seems that possibly they would pay the strip club to pick up someone who's already pre-marked as a target and commit whatever fraud was the latest flavour of the day, which the one Alex was describing was pretty tasty indeed. A complicated system of, basically phishing his credit card.
Josh, you were listening during the whole interview, and you were busy with taking care of the sound end of things, but what do you make of what you heard?
Well, it's not immediately clear if there's direct collusion or if this alleged taxi driver was indeed directly connected with the club, or whether it's something that is just some kind of...
Is it too much of a coincidence, though?
Oh, well, I'm sure there is a connection, but, whether it's some kind of quid pro quo arrangement between the club and people operating kind of dodgy taxis and saying, like, yeah, as Dave said, like, this is a potential mark, he's got a card. I don't know. It's kind of, well, clearly your troubles aren't over when you leave the club if you're...
Yeah, really, they're just beginning.
There's something that people say about all this, that they say it's the oldest scam in the world, isn't it? People wisely tip their hats, as if it had never happened to them. But guess what, people? The more we dig into this, the more we realize it's actually a series of complicated scams that are well thought through. They involve a lot of pressure, psychological kind of, moves, drugs, manipulation at a different level, and they're constantly evolving the game. And
the whole scam is systematized, every step of it.
I believe so. I believe there's a web of these people committing this fraud on a systematic, day-to-day basis, rinsing the tourists and, some locals and guys like our guest Alexander have moved here from the Ukraine. It's just an absolute joke. As we said earlier in the show, always a town has some strip clubs, but there used to be rules in this town. People used to respect the law. I wonder what happened. I really do.
I just feel like we reached a new level of weirdness here. Not to diminish or dismiss the suffering of people who have these problems in the strip clubs, but you can get lots of stories of people who say, I went to the strip club, they soaked my credit card, and I lost this money. Okay, it's horrible. But now, as you said, Dave, we just discovered a new layer where for many people, that's just the beginning or the first stage of the scam. It continues when you get outside and some overly friendly taxi driver, or what you think is a taxi driver, takes you to some dodgy ATM where they somehow get your credit card information and your bank account starts emptying out without your help or involvement. What the hell?
There seems to be a stunning variety of ways that these people can empty your bank account once they get a hold of you and your PIN. And it's ridiculous. It's like peeling an onion, the layers of disgusting detail. I love onions. I don't want to make this,
No offense against onions.
Yeah, sorry, man. Everything starts with an onion, Josh?
I absolutely agree with you about the onions. And indeed the enormity of what seems to be going on a daily basis under our noses, with actually no kind of attempt to do anything about it.
Surely the police could get on top of this easily enough. Show them a little police harassment. Whatever happened to a bit of police harassment? Stop soliciting on the main square. Isn't it against the law? Aren't they breaking the law?
It's got to be. I don't know.
I think the police are busy chasing cyclists, aren't they?
Well, people, if you haven't figured this out by yourself, you need to be seriously careful if somebody approaches you in the main square with an offer to go see some nice young ladies dancing on a stage. We'll put a link to the previous episode on the same subject in the show notes. But
something I want to touch on before we finish.
We're not done? What?
Something I want to touch on before. And an appeal to all of the people, all of the proprietors of strip clubs. What are you doing? This is no way to make money from naked women. I mean, the formula is simple.
The owner of this club drives a gold Lamborghini, so he might argue with you about that point.
Let me just finish my point, okay? You look at, say, Las Vegas strip clubs. Surely that's one of the meccas of strip clubs. What are they throwing in the air? Dollars. You know, the game is get people in, get them spending money, get them drinking. Yeah, charge them above market rate, of course, they're in a strip club. Charge them a cover fee on the door. But, you know, make it $10, $15. Let them know that this is a steady thing. The prices are fixed. You can have this for this much. And guess what? Then people loosen their wallet. These strip clubs are always empty. They're just like, you know, vultures bringing in one piece of meat at a time when they could be farming money by making it a more open establishment. Krakow needs a good strip club. What the hell are you people doing? You know, there's a lot of stag parties here want to see some tits before they get married, you know.
Honest, fair, safe,
I was in
non-scammy strip
I've been on stag parties. There's a strip club in Liverpool. I don't want to say it now. Who cares? No one listens to the show. The Pen and something or whatever. And it's
you don't even know what it is.
The £5 a dance, yeah? And what, £5 for a bottle of beer. And before long, you've spent £100, like, you know.
Exactly.
But you
and
did
you'll
it.
Go back
you did it happy. You left with a smile on your face. You know what I mean? You didn't feel like you were robbed. You felt like it was a fair exchange. And I'm sure the girls make more money in places like that, you know. Anyway, that's my little rant. Over.
I have to agree. I think everybody will agree.
Yeah, me too.
A nice strip club is better than a mean strip club.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway. Well, anyway, as I said, be careful out there. Listen to our previous episode with John Deverell from New Zealand. Again, will be in the show notes. And keep tuned to the KrakCast for more information on this interesting and frightening subject.